All right, let's move on to the 5 takeaways and see what 5 things we can take away from the 5-2 win against Burnley yesterday. Starting off with number 1, manna from heaven.
Yeah, and this is obviously about MANOR Solomon yesterday, who got 2 assists in what was a very big occasion for him of getting his first start in the Premier League. And I think he took it with both hands with a really creative and really good performance from him. He completed 20 of his 22 passes, 91% of them, 5 key passes during the game, which is a super impressive number, 3 of his 5 dribbles, 2 assists, but off the ball as well, 2 tackles and 1 interception as well. So he was also doing the dog work off the ball as well as being a really creative option on the ball. If there are any doubts about him, obviously it's still very early days, but he had a really top performance in his first Premier League start, and you've got to be very happy for him.
Yeah, and the away fans were absolutely loving the performance from MANOR Solomon yesterday. I thought at times in the first half he was completely unplayable. Sometimes he was just getting the ball and beating his man consistently. They found it really hard to deal with him. I felt like his first half display was better than his second half display, and maybe he did tire at some point, but still got an assist in the second half and a really good one at that. So I think it's a really good start for Solomon to provide a building block in terms of moving into the season. His first start in the Premier League, his first start for Spurs as well on his favoured left position. So I'm really liking the performance from MANOR and excited to see what can come from him as well. Moving on to number 2, the sun is shining.
Yeah, and what a clinical performance from Heung-min Son. 3 shots on target and 3 goals in what was a sensational hat-trick. But yet again, showing how good his finishing is. 3 goals from 1.12 XG. So yet again, another overperformance in his expected goals for Heung-min Son, and he's just a master at that. But in general play as well, completed 14 of his 17 passes. Also completed 1 key pass throughout the game. So despite his goals, he was also offering a really good... really good build-up play for the team, just good quality, not giving the ball away cheaply like maybe Richarlison has in previous games.
It's just nice to have a player that can actually control the ball.
Exactly. Just when it's fired into me, has a first touch and just can keep the ball. So really great stuff from a Heung-min Son. But his finishing ability, we know that's what his biggest strength is. That's where he's elite. And again, he showed that yesterday. And let's just hope he keeps getting these goal scoring positions.
Yeah, exactly. And he he had such a great performance yesterday, and everything he did, every single touch he did, every single action he had in the game was pure quality from him. And he's really leading by example now. He's got that captain's armband on, and look, I think he's the perfect captain for us, to be honest, out of all the selections that we could have gone with. And 3 goals on his first start as number 9. Richarlison must be thinking, what have I got to do now to get back into this team? And you got to say, we have to keep moving on and keep persevering with what we're doing now with Son as the number 9 and MANOR Solomon on the left. I think it still brings a question with who goes on the right with Brennan Johnson in the squad now. But you can't take away anything from the way Heung-min Son is performing, especially yesterday, putting in a hat-trick, leading the line by example, pressing from the front, leading the press. So brilliant day for Heung-min Son. But let's move on to number 3, and that is Destined for Greatness.
And this is obviously Destiny Udogie with another unbelievably faultless performance from him, both going forward and defensively as well. 5 tackles, 2 interceptions, 8 of his 9 ground duels won. On the ball as well, 1 key pass, 1 assist, 1 of his 1-on-1 dribbles completed as well. Like, he's just doing bits, just both on and off the ball. He's just so hard to get round because of his physicality, but on the ball as well, he's got technical ability, he's got really good decision making, he's got powerful running in his dribbling as well. This guy's a phenomenon, he really is. He hasn't had a bad game yet in a Spurs shirt, and this guy is still only 20 years of age. It's just, he really is destined for greatness.
He most definitely is. And you say he hasn't had a bad game. He hasn't even had an average game yet. Every game has been absolutely top notch from him. And, we keep saying it, 20 years of age, coming into a new league, not even just coming into a new league, but coming into a completely different system as well. I mean, everything he does is been of the highest order. And we are so lucky to have someone like him. We've been persevering with the Ryan Sessegnons and the Ben Davises and all these kind of players for so long now. And we finally got someone that provides quality going both ends of the pitch, defensively, absolutely on point. Nothing gets past him. He's so physical, so strong for someone of that age. And going forward, already provided 2 or 3 assists already. And the assist that he provided yesterday, I mean, literally just not robs the Burnley player by the byline and gets a lovely pass, and we're off to another goal. So I think everything Destiny Udogie is doing at the moment is absolutely just pure class, and I can't wait to see more and more of him. And I'm just so gutted it's the international break. No more Destiny for 2 weeks, no more Kuti for 2 weeks, no more Sonny for 2 weeks. And it's just like we've gone from dreading every Spurs game to being, I wish we could just play every day.
100%.
It's mad,
Fully
isn't it?
agree. 100%.
Number 4, we're going to look at naive Burnley.
Yeah, and we were talking about this in the preview about Burnley and how they like to play this new end of Vincent Kompany, higher pressing, aggressive pressing, and progressive passes building up from the back and playing their philosophy. And it was their biggest strength in the first 15 minutes, that approach, and it got them a goal, and they were looking really good for about 10-15 minutes. But unfortunately, it was also their biggest weakness, because with the first goal, it was just one long ball in behind from Pedro Porro, and all of a sudden Spurs were 2-on-2 at the back with Son versus Sonoma, and we got the equaliser through that. With the third goal, you had Burnley playing out from the back, and Destiny Udogie winning the ball high up the pitch because they're trying to play through our press, and they just weren't able to do it. And also you had the fifth goal, lovely passing behind again from Pedro Porro, just one long ball. Son has all the space in the world to run into, and bam, all of a sudden it's 5-1, and we just played them at their own game essentially, and they tried to go toe to toe with us. And it wasn't just the tactics, also our quality shone through with the goals from Kuti Romero as well, and from James Maddison. So as much as Burnley will try and keep playing this way, they were very naive.
Yeah, they were, and it's something that we kind of alluded to before the game and talking about it, that if Burnley do kind of keep trying to play their game, we're just going to pick them off. And that's exactly pretty much how the game panned out. Like you said, they started the game really well and put us under pressure, got that early goal. But after that, I mean, it was pretty much just one-way traffic for the whole game. Vincent Kompany mentioned after the game how good Spurs were. I think even in an interview, he went as far to say that Spurs were unplayable on the day. But I think, like, when you're judging Burnley and when you're looking at them compared to other teams in the league, I feel like it's all well and good playing this football in the Championship and completely destroying that league. But once you come into the Premier League, it's a completely different kettle of fish. And you need to find different ways how to manage games and how to, move into the season with positive results. And I think more times than not, they're going to get undone if they keep persisting with this way of football. And I feel like they need to find some sort of balance and solidity, because right now, I think for the majority of the teams that they come up against in the Premier League, I think they'll get unstuck.
To be fair to them, though, Man City, Villa and Tottenham is not a very easy start. Yeah. And so it was always going to be very difficult, however they played, to get results in those kind of games. So I'll give them a bit of leeway, but they have definitely been just an open door, basically, in all those games so far.
You look at their game against Man City, and then you look at Sheffield United's game against Man City, right? Burnley, I thought, were just constantly open against Man City, and they could have been so many more than 3 goals that day. But Sheffield United, they stuck every man behind the ball. They were defending for their lives, and Man City just about got over the line and got the win. So I think that's the way, that's the model that you need to go when you're facing the big teams in the Premier League.
Yeah, 100% agree.
And lastly, number 5 is leaders stepping up.
Yeah, so that leadership group, obviously Ange was alluding to them after the game as the 3 players who really had top performances, and all 3 of them were the ones who scored all our goals. Sonny getting a hat-trick, James Maddison obviously scoring from outside the box, and Kuti Romero putting Spurs 2-1 up. And I thought they were just leaders on and off the ball yesterday. I was so happy. I'm so happy seeing them step into this new role and take that responsibility. And I just thought they were probably, all 3 of them, a class above the rest yesterday. They were so good in terms of taking responsibility on the pitch, but also providing that quality when we really needed it as well. So happy for them, and just loving the new leadership group as well. And it's they've had a really good start to life as the captains.
Yeah, and it's not just the way they're playing, but it's their attitude and application on the pitch and off the pitch. You can really see the change. I definitely can see the change in Kuti Romero for sure. I mean, that stat before saying that he hasn't made a foul yet this season, it's just night and day to what we were seeing last season. It's not even like he's not being aggressive, because he is being super aggressive. He's just doing it smarter now. And I think the vice armband or the vice captaincy has really helped that. I think it's given him more authority and more responsibility on that pitch, and he's showing that. Heung-min Son as well, I think he's carrying himself a bit differently to what we've seen in the past. And also, we're just looking so good, aren't we? And the captains are stepping up for the team. Maddison as well. I mean, I never knew Maddison had this leadership and qualities about him before joining us, and he really is everything that we wanted and more from James Maddison. So the three leaders are really stepping up for Spurs on the pitch and off the pitch as well. So I couldn't be happier, to be honest. I really couldn't.
100%.
So that is your 5 takeaways from the game against Burnley. 5-2 winners at Turf Moor. We go into an international break, much to all of our frustration.